In many large retail enterprises, Google's suite of tools is managed by entirely separate departments. SEO teams handle search, trading teams upload feeds, and media agencies manage paid budgets, operating under the assumption that these are isolated marketing platforms. Google's actual operational model works differently. The algorithms do not see separate departments. They see a single, continuous signal processing network that evaluates business identity, product data, and customer behavior simultaneously. This highly organized 3D stack visualizes how these tools actually connect. When enterprise digital commerce underperforms, specifically in Google Ads, the root cause is rarely a standalone campaign error. It is a symptom of signal degradation much lower in the organizational infrastructure. To diagnose failure at scale, we must map the actual structural data flow moving through this ecosystem. Google's objective is to ingest upstream signals regarding site quality, entity trust, and behavioral measurement. The system processes these inputs upward to make effective downstream decisions. We are going to construct this unified signal architecture from the ground up to demonstrate the absolute dependency of paid media activation on upstream data integrity. Treating SEO, user experience, and paid media as distinct, unconnected disciplines creates a structural disconnect, one that explains why commercial performance often remains stagnant even as media spend increases. Look at this foundational plane. This is the governance and identity layer, the absolute base of the architecture. Within this tier, Google Business Manager acts as the central governance node to consolidate ownership of key assets and mitigate risk. When organizational governance is weak, meaning critical assets like analytics or merchant centers are split across different agencies or individual employee accounts, it creates direct commercial vulnerability. Operating alongside it is Google Business Profile. This controls the physical location identity layer, supplying search and maps with trust signals like precise addresses, operating hours, and localized store services. These elements feed into the Google Knowledge Graph, a system dedicated to entity resolution. Entity resolution proves to Google that the brand is a real operational trading entity. It resolves ambiguity by linking verified stores, public profiles, and product catalogs to establish definitive category relevance. If the algorithms cannot verify corporate identity and governance at this bedrock layer, every subsequent marketing effort sits on an untrusted foundation. Layering on top of identity is the product and technical infrastructure tier. Here is Google Merchant Center, the raw product data layer. Retailers dictate exactly what is being sold by uploading trade item numbers, precise pricing, and store availability directly to Google's engine. Poor feed quality here acts as a severe bottleneck. If product titles are incomplete or availability data is stale, the system will actively suppress product visibility and block local inventory opportunities. Beside it sits Google Search Console, the control layer for crawl and indexation. This determines whether Google can actually discover and read the website's content to begin with. For large SKU estates, technical flaws like sitemap errors or improper robots directives are invisible to the customer, but suppress search visibility at massive scale. You cannot scale a product catalog with paid media budgets if the underlying technical infrastructure rejects the crawler, or the product feed itself is degraded. The data flows upward into the third tier, the measurement and consent stack. This layer begins with Google Tag Manager, the deployment control system, allowing teams to manage tags securely without hard-coding every change directly into the site's architecture. When tag governance fails, the consequences are immediate. Unreliable tracking corrupts e-commerce measurement and severely weakens the remarketing signals passed back to the platforms. Those tags feed into Google Analytics 4. GA4 is a behavioral measurement engine designed to map complex, cross-device customer journeys based on distinct events. For retail, its primary value is providing internal teams with a clean, empirical view of exactly which traffic sources or specific products and landing pages actually generate revenue. The modern addition to this tier is consent-aware modeling, managed through the Google Tag, Consent Mode, and enhanced conversions. As browser restrictions tighten and cookie loss reduces observable tracking, this consent layer mathematically models missing conversion data. It bridges the gaps, maintaining attribution accuracy while respecting user privacy choices. Media optimization algorithms rely entirely on this layer. Their intelligence is strictly bounded by the quality and volume of the conversion signal being passed back to them. As we near the top, this fourth tier acts as the validation and quality control layer. Here, structured data and the rich results test translate page-level entities, like customer reviews, store locations, and navigational breadcrumbs, into a machine-readable format for Google's AI. Clean schema formatting is mandatory. It strengthens entity clarity, and is a requirement for enabling the brand to appear in enhanced search presentations. Validation also includes page speed insights and Core Web Vitals, the experience quality layer that assesses mobile speed and visual stability during page loads. Page experience correlates directly to commercial impact. Heavy, slow-loading product landing pages will predictably destroy conversion rates, wasting the paid traffic sent to them. Sitting alongside these is Google Trends, an insight tool that helps teams align their category focus and campaign timing with the actual language customers are using in their queries. This layer acts as a strict diagnostic filter. Poor technical validation or an unstable mobile experience will choke the transaction at the finish line, regardless of media spend. We reach the peak tier of the architecture, activation and analysis. This is the position of Google Ads, the paid media activation layer, encompassing search, shopping, and Performance Max campaigns. Google uses the ads platform alongside all the previously established signals to determine exactly where your budget is spent. Ads performance is dictated by the quality of GA4 event data, merchant center feeds, consent modeling, and landing page stability. It is not determined merely by tweaking internal campaign settings. For complex analysis, Looker Studio and BigQuery serve as the internal data warehouse layer, allowing teams to join Google's output with proprietary retail data, such as profit margins, stock levels, and precise order values. Google Ads is a budget allocation engine. It cannot out-optimize bad structural data fed to it from the lower layers. Here is the completed 5-layer architecture. Consider a scenario where a retail brand experiences a sudden, catastrophic drop in their Performance Max returns. Traditional, siloed teams will attempt to isolate the issue to the ads platform itself. They will adjust target CPAs, swap out creative assets, and rewrite copy in an attempt to stabilize the account. But the true architectural failure lies below. A broken Tag Manager trigger corrupts the consent mode signal, causing GA4 to drop conversion modeling. Without accurate measurement feedback, the top algorithm goes blind. It misallocates budget to non-converting traffic, destroying return on ad spend. Diagnosing this requires using supporting tools, like Merchant Center Diagnostics, Tag Assistant, and Lighthouse, holistically across departments to spot exactly where the signal broke. Senior retail leaders must transition their organizations away from managing isolated marketing channels and move toward governing a holistic signal ecosystem. In the modern digital architecture, an enterprise's commercial output is ultimately defined by the structural integrity of its lowest-level data inputs.